I wanted to take some time today to talk about our upcoming sponsorship drive. For those of you who are new to the Nixa Chamber, this is going to be pretty educational for you. If you're not so new to the Nixa Chamber, you have seen this in a couple of different iterations over the years. And so I just want to make sure I do a nice overview for what's coming for those of you who have kind of started to hear some things, but you're not entirely sure what it is that you're hearing. So every year, the Nixa Chamber does a sponsorship drive that basically sells all of our sponsorships for the upcoming year. So everything for 2027 that are sponsorships will be available for purchase starting in September. So historically, what we used to do is we used to have volunteers go out to our businesses and they would talk to each business and they would go through every single sponsorship for the chamber. And then they would sign people up and they'd be responsible for handling contracts and things like that. We don't do it that way anymore. We stopped doing it that way last year. Now what we do in order to have this sponsorship drive is we host the drive through Glue Up as an online event. On September 1st, the Glue Up event will open and it will last through November 17th. So you've got a couple months there. And what happens is our members, they go on, they find the sponsorship that they want. They select the sponsorships that they want for 2027. They check out and then they're done. And then we handle things on the back end. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind for the sponsorship drive is we have a sponsorship drive preview that we're doing in August 24th. We're doing a sponsorship drive preview. This is free to members. It's going to be the afternoon at 4 o'clock. So it can be at the end of your workday. We'll keep it to 1 hour. I talk really fast during this preview and we go through every single sponsorship opportunity that there is for 2027, as well as answer any questions that you have. The next thing that you need to be aware of is the date that it opens. You have to make sure that you have a login for Glue Up, things like that. You want to absolutely make sure you can get into Glue Up so you can get into this sponsorship drive and select what you want. Because it is hosted as an event in Glue Up, when you do get on there, you're going to see items as tickets, and so you're going to be purchasing tickets, and those tickets are your sponsorships. And that's just the way that Glue Up is run. But it works pretty seamlessly and it's pretty easy. It's just a lot of information to go through. We have lots of sponsorship opportunities for 2027. So that's kind of the overview of what it is. Now, there's a couple things to be aware of. When the sponsorship drive opens, September 1 through November 17th, whatever you purchase during that time, you do get a 10% discount. So that is a little bit of an incentive to get people to purchase early for what they want in 2027. Now, that doesn't mean that once we close the sponsorship drive, you don't get to purchase anything for 2027. If there's still something available, you can absolutely purchase it. But the 10% discount goes away once the sponsorship drive closes. It is first come, first served. So if you wait until September 2nd to get on there, and you wanted something that somebody else wanted and they got there on September 1st and it's gone, then it's gone. So it is first come, first served. We highly recommend that our members get on there at 9 a.m. on September 1st, go through and get the stuff that they want. We have had members last year, and this is probably not a bad thing. If there's something you're really wanting, we did have members last year go through and pick out their top absolute things that they wanted to have, checked out, so that they got them. Then they went back in for the secondary tier sponsorships they wanted. So the things they weren't that passionate about, but they still wanted, they waited and they first went in and got the one or two things that they absolutely wanted to have, and then they checked out. Because if you're kind of browsing and perusing and putting things in your cart and somebody else checks out with the thing that you have sitting in your cart, then you'll lose that thing and you won't have it anymore. So the sponsorship drive is coming up. We're very excited about it. It's a great way for you to plan out your 2027 with the Nixa Chamber. It's a great way for the Nixa Chamber to get all of the sponsorships out and sold so that we can also plan and start to organize things on the back end. It gives you a nice discount if you do things through the sponsorship drive. A couple things you want to do in preparation for this. I've already mentioned all of them in this video, but I'm going to recap it real quick. First, you want to register yourself to come to the sponsorship drive preview on August 24th. That is free for you, but we do ask you register so we know how many people are coming. Next, we want you to make sure that you can log into GlueUp. If you haven't logged into GlueUp in a minute or have never logged into GlueUp, go through that process now so you're not frustrated on September 1st when you go to log in and you can't. The next thing I want you to do is, if you are not able to get on September 1st for whatever reason, make sure that you designate somebody in your organization to get on there and grab the stuff that your organization wants, and predetermine what those things are with that person so they can go in and get the things, and you don't have to wait a couple of days to get what your organization wants and potentially they're gone. So those are the three things you want to do in preparation for the sponsorship drive. We will be sending out more videos. I'll be sending out videos just kind of showing what the back end looks like and helping people understand how they do all the things. We are going to be very thorough with this. If you have friends who are Nixa Chamber members and they haven't heard what's coming with the sponsorship drive, make sure that you mention it to them so that they can pay attention to emails. Sometimes things get lost in translation when our main mode of communication is email. It can be very easy to not see our emails. So make sure that your friends who are Nixa Chamber members also are paying attention and see that this is coming. If you have any questions, please reach out to the Nixa Chamber. We are always here to help. Thanks so much.